Hello, my name is Saber General, and this is the second episode of my Battlefield 4 weapon guides. Here we'll be taking a look at the MX4. This weapon is available for the Engineer class, and is the starting personal defense weapon in multiplayer, coming equipped with a reflex sight, red laser sight, and ergo grip. The MX4 is the military version of the CX4 Storm, developed in 2003 by Italian weapons manufacturer Beretta. Technically a submachine gun, the MX4 is part of a family of Beretta firearms, all featuring the X4 Storm moniker. This military version was announced in early 2011, and is currently in service with India's Ministry of Home Affairs forces. Adorned with Picatinny rails and fully ambidextrous, the CX4 has a reputation of being reliable, easy to use and handle among police and security forces. However, it is unknown how successful this future design will be amongst military personnel. In Battlefield 4, the MX4 fires the 9x19mm Parabellum pistol round, with a low magazine capacity of 30 plus 1. Damage per shot is 25 hit points of damage up to 8 meters, and dropping down to 12.1 at 55 meters. The MX4's fire rate is 830 rounds per minute, and its muzzle velocity is a low 390 meters per second. Recoil can be quite erratic, with a 0.36 pull up, 0.5 pull left, and 0.2 pull right. Reloads are quite lengthy at 2.5 seconds with a bullet in the chamber, and 3.4 seconds when the magazine is completely empty. Hipfire spread is fairly good, on par with the rest of the PDWs at 1 to 1.5 depending on your movement. Within close quarters, the MX4 is a force to be reckoned with, but its low magazine size and long reload time will often cause an interruption in your firefight. The MX4 is best used against single or tightly knit enemies, but not against large groups. In most cases, the MX4 will not be able to engage 3 or more enemies before a reload, at which point you will need to find a safe place to perform this action. If you are not careful, you will be caught mid-reload, leaving you to rely on your secondary to fend off any enemies. In one-on-one situations, however, the MX4 is able to hold its own and outperform many other weapons in close quarters, thanks to its decent hipfire and rate of fire. However, beyond mid-range, this weapon fails to perform admirably, with poor damage and accuracy leaving you nothing more than a wounded enemy and an empty magazine. Given that you only have 3 spare magazines to begin with, it pays to preserve ammunition when you can, because you are reliant on getting close to the enemy in order to perform effectively with this weapon. You should strongly consider equipping a sound suppressor. These attachments keep you off the minimap when firing and decrease recoil significantly. While it does reduce bullet velocity and hipfire accuracy, your bullet velocity is already quite low, and your hipfire accuracy better than most guns, so the sacrifices here are outweighed by the benefits. The majority of PDWs all boast larger magazines than the MX4's paltry 30 rounds, so it is imperative that you allow yourself plenty of time to reload. Without the suppressor, you will find yourself constantly flanked and outmaneuvered by weapons with better magazine capacities or reload times. Though you start with a reflex sight to begin with, the Cobra and Coyote sights are less obtrusive and offer a larger sight picture. The same holds with the American and Chinese Holo. Avoid the mid-range sights, as it is unlikely you will be able to successfully engage enemies past your maximum damage drop-off range, given its low damage at such distances. For the same reason, the 2x magnifier is also unnecessary, as are the canted iron sights. Choose either a laser sight or flashlight, or both with the laser light combo. The MX4's first shot multiplier is above average for PDWs, so you might favor the angled foregrip to better control first shot accuracy, which is fairly important for weapons with higher rate of fire. The default rocket launcher, the MB2 Law, is a decent explosive weapon with the ability to lock onto nearby vehicles after firing, but you might prefer the dumbfire RPG 7V2 or the Mark 153 Small for their higher damage. Your second piece of equipment comes down to personal preference and game mode that you are playing. The repair tool is hard to sacrifice, but if you want to go completely anti-armor, the AT mines or M2 slams are both effective ways to counter the movements of heavy armor. The M9 pistol is a good fit for the MX4, both being manufactured by Beretta, and is the first unlocked pistol behind the default P226, though the 93R is far more potent and consistent in close quarters. With your weapon so limited in magazine size and its long reload, you will need a reliable secondary to be used in close quarters, so choose wisely. grenades mostly come down to preference, I prefer the V40 Mini for their ability to be thrown further and larger carrying capacity. With the MX4, flank as much as possible. Chip away at the outskirts of an enemy's defense, as you won't be able to engage a large group with a single magazine. Have your teammates draw fire away from where you intend to position yourself, to give you the best possible chance to catch the enemy unawares. Just be aware that your enemies may also be suppressed. Stick to cover until you are ready to strike. This works against armor as well, as they will mostly be reliant on their minimap to pinpoint targets. With a suppressed weapon, you will be able to sneak past enemy tanks, and strike from behind where they are most vulnerable. The MX4 is a close quarters machine, able to down targets very quickly within its effective range, but its short magazine in comparison to the other PDWs, coupled with its low maximum supply, make the MX4 ineffective at long streaks, and its poor damage at range render long range engagements very one-sided against the MX4. It makes for a great scouting weapon, however, capable of downing small groups before retreating again, harassing the enemy before the main force arrives to eliminate the remaining opposition. With its sleek looks and futuristic design, the MX4 strikes without warning, as swift as an arrow. Thank you for watching. This has been Saber General. I will see you in the next video, where I'll be covering the U100 Mark V.